Happy Thanksgiving, cult members, and welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And this is our 3-month-old review of Blackkklansman. To be fair, this was one of the movies that we really wanted to see, but it fell through the cracks because of timings and different thing that was going on.
Well, it wasn't playing anywhere near us.
It didn't really play. Yeah. And when we say near us, like within a 20-minute radius.
Yeah.
We have like 7 movie theaters in a 20-minute radius, and we had to drive like an hour across town, and there was just other things we wanted to see, but we got to see it on Redbox. Thank you, Redbox. Last night.
Yep.
And this is a Spike Lee joint, telling the story of how a black man infiltrated the KKK in Colorado Springs, and it was pretty awesome.
It was good.
Like most Spike Lee movies, it made you think. And some people have complained and will continue to complain that they were kind of beat over the head with the subject in which it was about. And that was...
The name of the movie is Blackkklansman.
Right.
What did you think this was going to be about?
Right.
I mean, that was the time. That was...
Yeah.
And it was about... a black guy in the black movement and the KKK, and so the only thing I wouldn't say had a problem with, thought was a weird choice, was during the speech of the the guy changed his name. He was a member of the Black Panthers.
Yeah,
changed his name and went on the road and
character name is Kwame Ture something.
Sure.
Yeah.
During his rally speech, Spike's kind of directional director vision was showing the faces of the people in the crowd in kind of a Bohemian Rhapsody, black background, floating head, and none of them were actually reacting to the speech.
Like they were enthralled.
They weren't. There wasn't anything. They were just. It was just a straight face. They weren't reacting to the speech, and I just thought that was weird. But I liked the rest of it. I mean, it was funny, which you kind of were like, I'm not sure this is appropriate to be funny, but it was, and
the subject matter could be, at times, very funny. And that, it seems very counterintuitive when you're talking about the black movement in the 60s, early 70s, and the Klan. It just seems like it's like it shouldn't be funny, but the Adam Driver and John David Washington, their two characters, they actually seemed like they actually, they didn't go into it in depth, but they were friendly with each other, and so they were able to poke some fun at each other and were willing to work with each other. Which John David Washington plays Ron Stallworth, who is the first black officer in the Colorado Springs
police force.
Police force. Thank you. I've had one cup of coffee, and so that idea that they were able to have a working relationship and still be able to have some fun and stuff like that was kind of like it was a nice tone change for the subject matter that was going on in the movie.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of weird that people say they felt beat over the head. There is so much, like, everybody on the police force could have been a jerk to Ron.
Right.
And they weren't. There was one guy, and, some stuff happens at the end.
He gets handled.
So, I mean, there was racism, but there was not racism. And so I think there was at least a balance.
I'm not going to worry about spoiling the movie. There's about a 3 or 4 minute thing at the end where they were showing modern issues that happened in 2017 or 2016, 2017, when there was a protest going on and a guy drove his car through the group and killed people, and some of the stuff that went on around that with the president and the one person they showed that got killed was a white woman, and like it was just like it was
and I think it was a KKK rally.
Oh yeah.
That was the first one, and I mean, I just feel like, David Duke, Topher Grace plays David Duke, who is, or was, I don't know if he still is, the Grand Wizard of the KKK, and I mean, if you think that this is only based on what happened in the 70s, you're not paying attention to politics, because David Duke just tried to run for president. He's still out there, and things that he was saying.
They actually even showed a thing, a modern press clip after that attack. They showed it as part of the movie at the end. Yeah. So go ahead.
He's still out there, and things he was saying in the movie context back in the early 70s. We're gonna make America great, and it's like all you got to do is add an again on the end of that, and it's a very timely statement.
Spike Lee has been known in the past to kind of be abrasive with his movie, his agenda within his movies. And then also he does things like Inside Man or Old Boy, and it's like I really love Spike Lee's work, and I love his shooting style and his storytelling and everything.
And guess what? He gets to do that. If you don't agree with it, don't watch the movie.
Don't watch them. That's fine. Why I'm bringing it up is I think this might be the time where Spike gets at least recognized by the Academy in a nomination. Now, I don't believe he's ever been nominated. I have IMDb up, so I'm going to see if he's been nominated. But I feel like he should be nominated for Best Director. He's gotten 2 Oscar nominations. Okay. I'm bringing it up. He got nominated for 4 Little Girls in 1998, and for for Best Documentary, and then he got nominated for Screenplay
for Do the Right Thing.
And so he's never been recognized as a director at the Academy level. Now, he's been nominated for Best Director by the Golden Globes, but that was once for Do the Right Thing. And then he's got, Primetimes Awards and BAFTAs and all that kind of stuff. But I think this is the year that you can sit there and say, hey, this is, director-wise, I think this is one of the movies that needs to be in the conversation for Best Directing.
Yeah.
Maybe not Best Picture. It's on that, because we get 10 nominees and kind of thing.
I think picture's going to be tough.
There's a lot of really good movies.
Yeah,
this year.
It feels to me like this has nothing to do with this movie, but if they've got 10 slots, they better fill them this year, because we're not even to the end of the year yet, and I can come up with 10.
I can come up with 10, and if they do not nominate Black Panther after what the Academy tried to do with popular movie,
right?
Then there's going to be riots, and so
but this has nothing to do with this movie.
No, but I feel like this would be the year where they finally say, you know what, Spike, this movie is so well directed, and it was so even keeled, and it could have been really easy to go super deep. But the first two scenes in the movie is Alec Baldwin, who's playing Dr. Kimbrough Beauregard. And he's doing he's making a video of hate speech for the white race. That's where they start with the movie. By the way, Alec Baldwin playing that role is just awesome.
Yeah.
But the first major scene in the movie is a black rally, and so this movie that is about the Klan is really started off with a black rally, and he showed both sides of the conversation. And I feel like it would have been really easy just to show one side, be one heavy-handed one way, and he didn't. He showed throughout the entire movie, there's a problem on this side, there's a problem on this side, and neither side's willing to talk to each other, and there's no backing away from their stance. And there's a guy in the middle who's just trying to keep everybody safe with Ron Stallworth.
Yeah.
So
I think he probably could have shown the KKK members in a little like they were a little stereotypical, right? You had the one guy who was just a retard, and I think he was just drunk all the time. Yeah. You had the
extremist,
the kind of doomsday prepper guy, and then just the serious like what the heck, like he was thought everything was a conspiracy theorist, like everybody was out to get him and everything. So I think David Duke was the most normal person.
Right. And at that point in time, David Duke was trying to be a normal person because he was trying to run for public office. Yeah. And so he was trying to pull back on the super extreme rhetoric.
Yeah, I guess that's true, because they were kind of trying to make him try to be a little more mainstream.
Yeah. A couple of the performances I want to talk about really quick. John David Washington, who plays Ron Stallworth, the actual real Ron Stallworth, actually is in the movie. It's pretty fun. But John David Washington is really good for a guy that hasn't had a huge amount of leading man background and stuff like that. The girl who plays Liz in Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming, she is the leader, and I had it
Patrice.
Patrice, that's what it was. And where did it go? It was right here.
Right there. Patrice Dumas?
Yes. So it was played by Laura Harrier. She is Liz. She's a high school girl in Homecoming, and straight black hair, and then she's got this giant, beautiful afro in this, and she is the leader of the black movement at the college in Colorado Springs. I love her in this movie.
Yeah.
I really, because she is a strong black woman and was still able to have those moments with John David Washington where he would they try to talk about movies, and she's like Black Power, and he's like, can you just watch a movie to have fun, and stuff, and he kind of pulled her back. But really the two breakout performances for me, at least, is Adam Driver, who plays Flip. He is the white version of Ron Stallworth. Right. Him being able to go into these Klan meetings and without blinking, jump right in and be able to do everything. And he knows, and you could see it at times, knowing that it just wrecks him, that he's in there and having to say all this stuff, but he's undercover.
Yeah.
And just his performance is so good.
Yep.
And then able to, afterwards in the meetings at the police station, talk about how much he hates it, but he knows it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And I just felt that was good. And then the only other thing that I really wanted to talk about was Topher Grace. Now, Topher Grace we talked about is playing David Duke. I really like Topher Grace. And he plays David Duke pretty, like we said, pretty straight and everything. But I would like to see more of Topher Grace in movies. And I just don't know why he doesn't get jobs. I don't know if it's just his, I'm only going to take certain jobs in my life or whatever.
Maybe.
But I want to see more of him, especially after seeing how he did in this role. It's very small, but an important character in the movie.
Yeah, and he really looked like him now, makeup and fake mustache and all that, but they showed a picture of David Duke, or a video or whatever of David Duke at that time period at the end of the movie, and I was like, oh wow, he really looked like him.
Yeah. So overall, we both really liked it. We liked all the performances and the directing and everything. Score.
3.25. I just gave something a 3.25, but I'm gonna give this a 3.25.
You gave Creed 2.
Yeah, Creed 2. Yep. Yeah, it was good. I'd probably watch it again if it was on HBO or TV or something.
Yeah, I'm at a 3.5. Not a buy for us. Rewatchability is there for it, but for a 3.5, if we were having the conversation now, this would be in the conversation for Best Picture. But I know for what's coming, I don't know if it's going to make it, back to what we were talking about earlier.
We've got a month left and just so many movies.
Yeah. And we're going to do a December preview here coming up on Monday. So we'll talk about all the movies that are coming. So that's our thoughts on BlackkKklansman, from Spike Lee. What did you guys think of the movie? Let us know. Leave us a comment about the movie itself and your thoughts on it. And like the video, subscribe to the channel every time. Every subscription means an angel gets its wings. And get a hold of us on our social media. All the information's in the bio. And until next time, good night now. Good morning, Turkey Day.